Over 71% of Twin Cities homes are selling below asking price, but drive 15 minutes in the right direction and homes are getting multiple offers $10,000 to $15,000 over asking in under 2 days. So what's going on here? I'm Jadde Rowe, and my team and I have sold over 2,000 homes in the Minneapolis metro, and in this video, I'm about to show you why these homes are not selling, but others are. The 2021 playbook is dead, and if you're still using it, you're about to learn some expensive lessons. So let me break down what's actually happening in the Minneapolis-St. Paul metro right now. The median home price in the Twin Cities sits around the high 200s to low 300s. And here's the thing, the multiple offer market from 2021 is mostly gone. Sellers are seeing fewer offers that are still strong, but not way over asking like they used to be. Right now, homes are selling at an average of 98% of list price for St. Paul and 97% for Minneapolis, which tells you that buyers have more power to negotiate than they did a few years ago. But here's what's wild. Some areas are seeing 90-day listings, while others 15 minutes away get 15 showings in 48 hours. I'm breaking that down in just a minute. Now, pricing smart has become super critical for sellers. And if you're a buyer, you need to understand which areas are going to require you to be aggressive and which ones are going to give you room to negotiate. Because not all neighborhoods in this metro are playing by the same rules right now. Now listen, if you're trying to figure out whether to buy or sell in the Twin Cities right now, I work with clients on both sides of these cooling and hot markets every single day, and I can walk you through exactly which strategy fits your situation and timeline. All of my info is in the description. Let's talk through your specific neighborhood and goals. All right, let's get back to it. What if I told you the neighborhoods everyone thinks are cooling off are actually sitting on a $3.1 billion opportunity, and the smart money is paying attention right now before 2027 changes everything? St. Louis Park is seeing more homes hit the market, so buyers have more options to pick from. The median home price here sits in the mid 300s, and we're seeing about 117 active listings right now, which is up roughly 11% from last year. I just had a listing in St. Louis Park that took longer to sell than we expected, and the feedback we got from buyers was that they had other properties to look at first before they made an offer on ours, and ended up working with someone else's before we got a deal done. Now here's the thing about St. Louis Park. It's positioned really well because the Metro Green Line extension is coming in 2027, which is going to connect downtown Minneapolis all the way out to Eden Prairie through St. Louis Park and Hopkins. And this $2.7 billion project is expected to completely change these communities. This could be a hidden gem that's about to boom once that light rail opens up. Hopkins was seeing similar cooling in December, with the average days on market going to over 100. The Hopkins market shows a median home price in the high 300s. And again, Hopkins is also going to benefit from that Green Line extension in 2027. So this market might get going a little faster than the others. Lakeville, Savage, and Burnsville in the South Metro are seeing cooling with more inventory as well. Burnsville has had 123 active listings right now with an average listing price in the mid 300s. Lakeville shows 448 active listings with prices in the high 500s, though this includes everything from starter homes all the way up to luxury properties. I just had a townhome listing in Burnsville that went into multiple offers this past weekend, and we got 3 offers, and the best offer was only $10,000 above asking price, with the other 2 coming in at $5,000 over. So while the property sold well because we priced it right, it wasn't the aggressive over-asking environment of 2021 and 2022. Weisetta is unique in that luxury market, where homes priced way higher are staying on the market longer because of high interest rates and buyers being super picky. The median sale price for Weisetta sits in the high 1.6 million range, with 99 properties for sale right now. And the data shows the median sale price dropped by roughly 2%, while the number of active listings went up by 53%. Luxury homes in Weisetta average 78 days on market. And I've got an offer out on a Weisetta property right now that's been on the market for 120 days. This is an area that's normally super desirable, but because homes are really expensive and interest rates are high, people are definitely taking their time and are more willing to negotiate. Weisetta still costs a premium because it's on Lake Minnetonka, which is about 14,500 acres with around 125 miles of shoreline. And it's home to the #1 rated school district in Minnesota with an A+ rating. These cooling markets give you leverage and time to negotiate. And if you're smart about it, you can position yourself ahead of major transit projects before everyone else catches on. But not every neighborhood in the Twin Cities is giving you this breathing room. Some are the complete opposite. In the markets I'm about to show you, listings are getting 10 to 15 showings in the first 48 hours. Inventory is measured in dozens, not hundreds, and if you're not prepared to compete right away, you're gonna watch your dream home go to someone else. Menota Heights is one of the hottest markets in the Minneapolis metro right now, with super limited inventory that creates strong competition when nice homes hit the market. The median for sale price in Menota Heights sits in the high 500s with only 28 active listings right now. So you can see right there that supply is super tight. Homes spend about 40 days on the market, and the market holds a tight sales to list price relationship at 95%. The reason this area is so hot is that when a house comes up that's actually nice and well maintained, it's going to go fast, and it's probably going to get multiple offers. Minnetonka stays desirable and is seeing strong buyer interest, especially for well-positioned properties near downtown Hopkins and the Minnetonka areas. The median home price in Minnetonka sits in the high 400s, and I've got a listing that just hit the market this week in Minnetonka. We've been on the market for 48 hours, and we already have almost 10 showings booked. Now here's something important to understand about Minnetonka. You can be in Minnetonka, but actually be in the Hopkins School District, which isn't rated as high as the Minnetonka School District, even though you have a Minnetonka address, and this can really affect pricing and how desirable it is. The Minnetonka School District is ranked number 2 in Minnesota with an A+ rating, and they have this innovative Vantage program that's nationally recognized. If you're buying in these markets, the strategies coming up are critical, but we're talking winning versus losing by $1,000 in a moment. So Shoreview in the northeast suburbs is seeing very strong demand, especially for properties in the highly rated Mounds View School District. I've got a listing that hit the market this week in Shoreview, technically still coming soon. We've been on the market for 48 hours and we already have 15 showings booked. I expect this probably will sell in multiple offers, probably $10,000 to $15,000 over asking. And if we get more than $15,000 over, that's incredible. But based on the showing activity and the feedback we're getting, I'm expecting it's going to land in that $10,000 to $15,000 range. Maple Grove continues to be a strong market as well, with steady demand, especially for well-presented and correctly priced homes. The median home price sits in the mid 400s with 285 homes for sale right now. And the sales to list price ratio is at 99%, which means homes are selling just below asking price, even above when they're positioned right. If you got a house that's positioned right and well presented in Maple Grove, it usually goes pretty fast right now. Plymouth is grouped with Maple Grove as a steady, strong market where well-positioned properties move quickly. I live in the Maple Grove and Plymouth area, so I kind of live and breathe these markets. And again, if you've got a house that's positioned right and well presented, it usually goes pretty fast right now. In these hot markets, buyers who aren't prepared lose homes to someone who showed up with better financing, tighter contingencies, and a local lender who could vouch for them. And that brings us to the other side of this, because if you're selling, the strategy is completely different depending on which market you are in. Picture your home sitting on the market for 90 days, the showings drying up, and then finally accepting an offer $70,000 below where you started. That's what happens when you don't understand how to sell in these cooling markets. So let me show you how to avoid that nightmare. First, you really need to look at comparable sales and price your home right. And I'm not talking about just pulling up 3 houses that are similar and calling it a day. I'm talking about how you need to be very detailed about the comps. You can't just compare overall pictures anymore. You need to think about things like, is your layout a split level or is it an open concept? Are your cabinets painted or are they actually updated? Are your countertops granite or quartz or laminate? Is your house actually clean and decluttered? What's your ceiling height like, and how recent and high quality are the updates? Price per square foot is coming back into a conversation more with appraisers and buyers right now. And a house that actually has more updates, more functional space, and a better layout will sell at a higher price per square foot than ones that maybe have the same bedroom, bathroom square footage numbers, but aren't as updated or functional. Second, you need to price conservatively because you shouldn't expect multiple offers. And I know that might sound harsh, but you should price it at a level where if you get one showing and one offer at full asking price, you're comfortable taking that price. I had a listing that we listed at $499,000 against my professional advice, and there was a property across the street that sold for $490,000. So my seller wanted to list for that $499,000 number. And we sat in the market for 90 days before getting an offer, and we had to come down basically $70,000 to get an offer accepted because we lost all our leverage. We 100% should have listed probably $50,000 less than what we listed for, somewhere in that $450,000 range, rather than pushing to that $500,000 mark. Third, at the end of the day, location, price, and condition of the home really matter a lot and decide how quickly you'll sell. Location things include what school district you're in, whether you're off a busy road, whether you have a flat backyard or an angled backyard, and what the overall neighborhood appeal is. Condition things include your overall update level, how fresh the paint is, what the carpet condition is like, how clean everything is, and what your curb appeal is. Because buyers are way more picky than they were a few years ago. If you're thinking of painting a room, paint it. If you're thinking of redoing or cleaning carpets, it's probably worth doing. And spending a few extra $1,000s on the interior of your home to get it ready will be a good return on your investment. I just had a conversation with some sellers in Chanhassen, which is a southwestern suburb known for being home to Paisley Park, Prince's Estate. And we're probably listing their home around $475,000. And they were asking me about spending $2,000 to raise their concrete steps because they're tipped a little bit. My advice was to not spend $2,000 on exterior concrete steps. Instead, put that $2,000 into repairing some of your rooms, doing some remudding and taping on areas that need it, and either replacing or cleaning your carpet to make it look fresh. The reason is that buyers connect emotionally with the interior spaces where they're gonna live every single day. And interior updates give you a better return on investment than exterior fixes that buyers are probably gonna negotiate for anyway. Overpriced or high need homes sit everywhere, even in hot markets, which is exactly why buyers in those competitive areas need a completely different playbook to actually win. There's a simple psychological trick that costs you nothing extra, but can be the difference between winning and losing a home in a multiple offer situation. And most buyers never think to use it. So let me break down how to actually win in these hot markets. First, you need to be completely prepared with your financing. If you need financing, make sure you have your financing ready to go. You're approved, you know exactly how much you're approved for, you know how much you plan on putting down, and you have all of your paperwork prepared. You need to work with a local lender, not a national lender, because a local lender knows the Minneapolis metro market specifically. They probably have relationships with sellers agents and they work on the weekends, which is critical because you might have to make an offer within 48 hours on a Saturday afternoon at 2 p.m. Your local lender should be someone who can make a call on your behalf once you make an offer to talk you up and put confidence in the seller and their agent. Second, if you want those really nice properties that are going to be in multiple offers, you need to be prepared to do short inspection periods or maybe waive inspection periods. And there are ways that we can do this where we waive it while still getting you an inspection done. So reach out to me for more info on strategies for that. Third, you need to be willing to look past comparables and understand that you're not necessarily paying above market value when you go over the asking price. A seller or a seller's agent may purposely position their property lower than what it should have been priced at to get multiple offers. So when you're going 40 or 50 over asking, maybe that house should have been priced $25,000 higher than it was to start with. So you're actually only paying $25,000 over true market value. At the end of the day, you need to ask yourself, at what price are you not excited about it? And at what price do you feel like if you lost it at this amount, you'd be okay with it and could still sleep at night? Fourth, if you're going to be making above asking price offers, I usually like to add in an escalation clause, which is a built-in negotiating clause that lets your offer go up by certain amounts, usually $1,000 or $2,000 at a time. And it's an automatic escalator with a cap. And fifth, you want to think differently than other buyers when you're putting together your offer. So a lot of buyers automatically just go $5,000, $10,000, $15,000, $20,000 over asking. But you should make it weird, make it odd, make it different. If you're only willing to go $10,000 over, I'd suggest going $11,000 or $12,000. If you're willing to go 15, you should go 16 or 17. And don't go 20 over, go 22,000, 21, 23, somewhere around there. These strategies, financing prep, local lenders, flexible inspections, escalation clauses, odd number offers, they stack together to make you the buyer that sellers choose when multiple offers land on the table. And knowing when and how to use each one is what separates winning from watching someone else get your home. The 2026 Twin Cities market rewards the prepared and punishes the unprepared. And now you know exactly where your leverage sits and how to use it. If you're ready to buy or sell in any of these neighborhoods and want a strategy session tailored to your specific situation and timeline, email me today and let's map out your next move this week. I've linked my video breaking down the best and worst Minneapolis suburbs to live in 2026, where I rank neighborhoods by schools, commute time, lifestyle fit, and investment potential. It's the perfect companion to what we just covered here. All right, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one.